Hi guys! Today we're continuing in the same section. For our first set of notes today, we will be learning about 3 different ways that you can write a linear equation. A linear equation is an equation that, when graphed, will create a nice straight line. Our first form for a linear equation is called slope-intercept form. Now, we've already talked about this, but I wanted to make sure we went over all the forms together in the same video, so we're going to talk about it again. You also will want to write it down again so that you have a single piece of paper with every type of linear equation on it. Slope-intercept form looks like this: y equals mx plus b. Notice that to write something in slope-intercept form, you need the y to be all by itself on one side of the equal sign, and everything else will be on the other side of the equal sign. In slope-intercept form, the y and the x will stay letters, and the m and the b will be replaced with numbers. We call this slope-intercept form because we can stare at it and we can instantly find a slope and an intercept. The slope can be found from the number where the letter m is. M stands for slope, and it will always be the number being multiplied with the letter x. The intercept, or more specifically, the y-intercept, is the number where the letter b currently is. That would be the number being added or subtracted with your letter x. If it's being subtracted, you would write it as a negative number. The y-intercept is a point, a dot on a graph, so we are going to write it as an ordered pair. The ordered pair for a y-intercept always starts with the number 0, and then you would put the y-intercept as the second number, so 0, comma, b in this scenario. This is, again, slope-intercept form, our first type of linear equation. Our second type of linear equation is called point-slope form, and it looks like this. In point-slope form, similar to slope-intercept form, the x and the y will stay letters. Now, there are several x's and y's in this problem, so I am very specifically talking about the letter y that is only a letter y, and the letter x that is only a letter x. Those will stay letters. Everything else in the problem will be replaced with numbers. Please notice in this problem, we do have something being added or subtracted with my y over here. The y is not by itself. Also notice, in point-slope form, you're supposed to have parentheses as part of your answer. So it's really important that you do have parentheses and that you don't accidentally distribute and then the parentheses go away. That would be bad. We do want the parentheses to be there. This is called point-slope form because we can stare at it and we can find a point and a slope. Now, the point is not going to be an intercept like it was on our slope-intercept form. It's just going to be a random dot. It could be anywhere on the line. And you find your point from the x1 and the y1. That's where you get your ordered pair from, your points, your dots. Again, not necessarily a y-intercept. Any dot anywhere, as long as it's on the line. The other thing you can find from point-slope form is your slope, and that is, again, still the letter m. It's even in the same spot of the equation as it was for slope-intercept. It's right in front of that letter x, so that's where you can find your slope. This is point-slope form, a linear equation, an equation that makes a line. Our final linear equation is called standard form. Standard form looks like this: ax plus by equals c. In standard form, the a, b, and c must be integers. We learned that integers can be positive or negative whole numbers. That means that there should be no fractions and no decimals in your final answer. Also, in standard form, your letter a, which is the number right in front of the letter x, has to be positive. Finally, this is called standard form because it is the prettiest and neatest way to write a linear equation. Because this is called standard form and not something like point slope or slope intercept, that means we can't stare at this problem and find any important information about our line. The A, the B, and the C do not stand for anything. You cannot take A and say it's the slope. B is not the y-intercept. This is standard form. This is our final form of a linear equation. A linear equation can be graphed to get a straight line. Now, it is not the last equation that we need to learn. We need to talk also about our slope formula, which also was from yesterday's notes. This is our slope formula. Now, the slope formula is not a linear equation. It does not make a straight line. Instead, it is a number describing a line, telling us how steep or how slanted the line is. It is a descriptive word, but it cannot be interchanged with the word line. You can say that line has a slope of this, but you can't say, hey, look at that slope over there. Slope is not a physical object. It's a descriptive word describing a line. So don't mix those up, but do remember this formula. These are the 4 important equations that you need to know for this chapter. There is no homework after this video. All of the homework will be after the next video.